I have reported my flatmate for not cleaning the flat and she got terminated. After that, she never wore the Qatar Airways uniform again. I will also be using pictures and to explain to you what happened and how everything happened, so you will know. I never thought that I will be talking on a topic like this. In fact, I was always hiding myself behind and saying that I will never talk about personal things and what has happened, and for the simple reason I don't believe that is relevant when it comes to knowledge sharing, when it comes to personal growth and development. Nevertheless, I found a way how to connect this very interesting story and share it with all of you, and the story is very simple. I have reported my flatmate for not cleaning the flat and she got terminated. It's a very catchy topic. At the end, the story ended up like that. She was the one and only person that I have reported, and the outcome of the situation was that she was terminated. I will also be using pictures and to explain to you what happened and how everything happened, so you will know that you will know the entire scenario of how things developed, because it was just simply a process that led me to that decision. I always do my decision-making process. I never jump straight away. Nevertheless, click the subscribe button for all the content that is coming, and let's start. For those of you that are new on my YouTube channel, very warm welcome. My name is Julia George and I used to fly for Qatar Airways for 10 years, where I have resigned from my last work position as a cabin service director, and I'm currently studying Aviation Management Master Program at Wildau Institute of Applied Science in Berlin. I lived with flatmates from all over the world, and literally with all my flatmates I'm friends still today. We have said goodbye to each other in a very good way, in a friendly manner. I talked, I think, in some of my videos of my very first flatmates, then they resigned both at the same time. Then I had another 2 flatmates because we lived in a big flat of 3-bedroom flat actually. Then we moved to another building, which was a 2-bedroom flat. And then I had another flatmate. She was from Portugal. Her name is Nadia, and with her I lived the longest. Then she also resigned. I lived with a Macedonian. Then I moved. I lived with a Serbian for a short period of time, when I got a flatmate from Thailand who was born in Thailand but was living in Australia. And my last flatmate was from India. So pretty much a diversity of people. Nevertheless, the only person I encountered difficulties to understand each other was my flatmate that was originally Thai but born in Australia. And before I start, I would just ask you, whoever is watching this video, do not please share comments below this video which are related to general conclusions and insulting nationalities, because this is not the aim of the video. Whatever I'm going to be sharing in this video is my personal experience, and it is related to only one person. It's not related to the entire nationality, because simply I cannot generalize and I cannot stereotype. So when my flatmate from Serbia left, if I'm not mistaken, she got married or she moved in with her boyfriend. I really don't remember. I was getting an offer to move and live alone, as I was a cabin service director already, and we could choose to live in a flat, which is a 1-bedroom flat, by the housing officers, of course. I declined that offer and that possibility that I had, because I'm a single child in my family. I have no siblings, and simply my lonely childhood. I always was I remember a childhood where I always was so happy when kids were coming in our house, and our house was full of my friends. So therefore I said, I'm always flying, I'm always alone in the layover. I mean, alone in terms of after the flight is over and stuff like that. I would really, as of now, I have enjoyed my time living with my flatmates, and I really don't mind, though I'm flying for 8 years, to just live with another person. In fact, it will be a pleasure, and I was looking forward to actually having a new flatmate. So I welcomed her. The new flatmate came. She was an ab initio and I was a CSD. She came. I wished her a warm welcome with all the those small little details, things that we used to do in Qatar Airways. I'm not sure if there are practices yet, because not really new joiners at this time. More or less the laid off cabin crew and the redundant are going back, which is something great. Nevertheless, my flatmate came. I'm gonna refer to her as Alice. That's how she presented herself with her English name, but her Thai name is totally different. And whatever picture I'm going to be sharing with her, I will be hiding her face, because I don't want to expose her and talk. And basically, I don't want her reputation to be destroyed. At the end of the day, she left Qatar Airways. She was terminated, but yet I do believe that she is a human being, and I do believe that she has learned a lot from her mistakes. I wish her warm welcome. We get to know each other, and my very first impression about her was that she is a bit rude. Then, as I was getting to know her, why I'm saying she was a bit rude, because she would answer to me very shortly. She would always be in her room. She would lock the door and stay in her room, which is something that I totally don't mind. I had flatmates who were preferring to staying in their room, but when I lived with Nadia, we were like family, and we were all the time mingling in the living room, having coffee, tea together, talking how's our flight. And then when we sleep, our bedroom rooms were open, and we would just have that family atmosphere, I would say. And when we go for a flight, we never actually locked our bedrooms, which is more or less something that the crew are doing. They're locking their bedrooms, but me and Nadia, we have built up that trust among each other, and we never locked the bedrooms. Nevertheless, with my flatmate from Thai Australian, she was locking her room all the time, but I was not. I just said, let it be. Whatever happens will happen. I trusted her from the very beginning. I said, I'm just gonna do my things as she's doing her things, and that's completely fine. So whenever you're getting a new flatmate, at least in Qatar Airways, you would have pest control and cleaning department coming to clean your entire flat, to welcome your flatmate in a new flat. And I think that is wonderful. And actually that has a purpose, I believe. When you have been given something to use it, and you have been gifted that thing, having a flat and living in a flat, it's not a gift. It is a facility that the company has, and I do believe that as cabin crew, we're all supposed to appreciate it the maximum level. Why I mean to appreciate it? It's just to take care of that flat as if it was your own flat, because you are the person who lives there. And I will come to very important points, which are some questions that candidates have asked me in terms of, do you really have to clean your accommodation, and how serious it gets if you don't clean your accommodation? That's the question that everyone wants to know about. So we kind of, at the beginning, it was I was so much putting effort to, I think that I was the Asian in the entire communication with her, and she was the European. It was totally the other way around, because I would knock on her door, perhaps to ask her to lower the voice if she's watching some movie, and she would straight away open the door and tell me, what do you want? And I would be like, can you please, just lower a bit the volume, because I would like to sleep. But these are all things that totally didn't bother me, because the moment I would tell her this, and I will actually explain to her, I have a flight, it's important that I sleep and I be well rested. She was following those things. It's not my rules. It's actually as a courtesy towards each other. So at the end of everything, to make the long story short, my flatmate and I became very good friends. She was new. I have introduced her to all my friends in Qatar, and most of my friends in Qatar were not cabin crew, so which was a great opportunity for me to enjoy days off and not to worry whether they fly or not. We would go to the beach together, we would go for lunch, for tea, for coffee, and I was having a car, so perhaps she wants to go to a mall and buy something, she needs something. I would always, whenever I'm free, I would always be happy to, just go together with her. And in fact, I also offered to her, if she has a driving license and she wants to convert her driving license to Qatari, that she can take my car and we regulate that with the insurance. We will put her also in the insurance, and she can just drive wherever she wants, which is not something that she did. She said I wouldn't take the responsibility for that. And I have to say that I learned a lot about Thai cuisine from her. I remember my mom also came to visit me. So on this picture, you can see me, her, and my mom having a Thai food together. And my mom was also fall in love with the Thai cuisine. And it was kind of a very nice bond that we formed together. And it ended up with me taking her to Macedonia with me. So we had a vacation, both of us at the same time. You know, we talk about how was our childhood, where are you from, and we would sit in the living room and chit chat. And she became very interested in Macedonia, as whenever she was flying from with people from Macedonia or from the Balkan, the crew, she would share that she's my flatmate, and you know, you're 10 years in the company, people get to know you, and you know, she was easily bonding with people from the Balkan, I would say, from the area where I am, ex-Yugoslavia, don't forget it. And it was easy for her. At the same time, she also fell into several troubles when she started flying, due to a lot of conflicts on board the aircraft that happened, a lot of misunderstandings. And she would come and tell me, you know, this crew told me take this straight to the passenger. She didn't say please, she didn't say thank you. And I think she was having also hard time to just enroll herself into the cabin crew job, because her first reaction whenever she acts, she would want to show that she is more Australian than Thai, which I believe this was the biggest mistake that she made. Yet I do believe that she has learned from it, because I sincerely think that we all should be proud of where we're coming, and I don't have to stand in front of this video or film this video and show to you how American I can be or how Canadian I can behave. This is me, this is what I have learned, and this is how I think it functions for me. This is my personality. I'm very straightforward. I will always tell you in the face whatever I feel, think, this is right, this is wrong, but I will always do it in a manner which kind of makes me not to be viewed as a rude person, because I don't want people to view me as a rude person, which was something that I don't think she understood. She didn't knew that whenever she talks short sentences and she would straight away move, she would be observed as someone who's rude. So I worked on these things with her. I worked with her on day one whenever she had difficulties in understanding the drills. We have been sitting within hours and we have been talking about the service training, the safety training, the first aid training. She would wait for me to come back from a flight at night sometimes, and next day she has training, and she would ask me how she can remember easily things, and I would always give her tips. I would always share with her how it was easy for me, and it was a great bond. And especially when she came to Macedonia, I think that it was just excellent. She came with a friend from Thailand. Her friend from Thailand flew to Qatar, and we all of us, and actually it was my mom with us, and you can see on the photo over here, this is in the airport in Macedonia when we arrived. She rented a car actually because she wanted to go around. She was doing snowboarding, and it was just an overall a great time that we had together. But there was one thing that I was not happy with her, and that was the cleanliness. And I must say that I never asked from her to clean the house, and I know that some of my flatmates might watch this video, and if you are my flatmate, you have been living with me, you all know that I never ever said to anyone to clean the house. But at the same time, there were certain things that would bother me, such as, let's say, having dishes in the kitchen. If you go on a flight, if you go, let's say, on a turnaround flight, and you know you didn't wash your mug and I don't know, you were cooking something, you go and you come back, that's completely fine, and you send a message to your flatmate, you know, I left the dishes. Or doesn't matter, you go to Melbourne, which is a 3-day trip, and you'll say, you know, I didn't wash the dishes. I would be very happy to do it, but to constantly leave a full kitchen with dishes and things like that, it's not nice, because I'm also coming very tired from the flight and it's smelly. I'll come to the point of hygiene later on. So this was happening all the time. So it was during that 1 year that we lived together, almost a year, that she wouldn't wash the dishes. She would just, and also I remember when she was bringing her food from all over the world, mainly she was eating Thai food. I bought this zipping bags from IKEA, and I asked her, you know, cereals or whatsoever things that you have, just kindly zip it in these bags. I bought it for you because we live on the 5th floor and it's very hot in the Middle East. For those of you living in the Middle East, you know how hot it is, but for those of you that don't, it's indeed tropical, humid, and also bugs are something that it's a danger, I would say. And we used to have, and I think it's imposed, that pest control that comes on yearly basis or twice per year to just do that pest control. But if I'm not mistaken, it was maybe more frequently. Just don't get me wrong, please. However, the danger of bugs is there, especially when it comes to taking care of the food and stuff like that. So I gave her the bags, and you know, I asked her, because I observed at the beginning she wouldn't close simply whatever she buys, she would just leave it open. And then I wanna because if the bugs are in her cabinet, they will also go in mine, irrespective it's nothing there. They also would go where the dishes are staying. So it was also, our health is in danger in this place. So I was asking her 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, until I come with an idea to sit down and talk to her. So we talked very nicely, and she promised. I came from a flight and I saw 1 time that she just washed her dishes. So we're not talking about here vacuuming the house. She never ever vacuumed the house. That was my responsibility, and I love it. I'm just gonna play a music, put my headphones on, and just vacuum the house. For me, it was just an activity that I enjoyed. And there is not much to clean and undust, because there is just this TV board where the TV stays, the table where we eat, and you know, the sofas, and that's it. Pretty simple. We had 2 lavatories, toilets. One was where we took shower, we shared it, which I told her, you're never gonna clean this toilet because I'm very fast in cleaning. I'll just put the gloves, I'll clean the bathtub. I'm just asking you, when you take a shower, do not leave all your hair around, because I will have to take a shower. Just take a very hot water, you know, and just pass it on. That's it. And her toilet also, which she never cleaned it, and you know, she would go to the toilet and she would leave the door open, and you know, you come from a flight, or you know, and the things is that smells not so nice. Of course, it's a toilet, not a kitchen. Anyway, so she wouldn't do those things, and at one point I really tried not to irritate her, but I'm not sure she had personal problems or it was hard for her, the flying, because she was also getting a lot of customer complaints. Just the passenger would take her so rude. She would get a lot of VRs from supervisors, misunderstandings on board the aircraft. Believe me, every 3rd or 4th flight was with a problem on board. So there was an interesting scenario in which I took a board, and on that board I wrote everything that I think she should do in the kitchen, and here is how the board looked like, and I put it right in front where we wash the dishes. And I told her, you know, just this is the board in case you forget something, just have a look, and I've written it nicely. So one time she did it, next time the whole story repeat again. The fridge was constantly dirty. I don't mind cleaning those things, and plus I told her, you don't have to buy the detergents if you don't want, just buy your washing machine stuff, and you know, for the dishwasher or whatever things, I'm just gonna buy it, you know, it's okay, you're just new and you don't have to buy these things. When she started earning money, I told her that it's nice if we give 50 rials each month, and we buy the detergents, the dishwasher, the toilet stuff for the toilet, because you know, it's just sharing costs. You're also earning, I'm earning. And that is something that she did it sometimes she didn't do. And also for the internet was on my name, and she would regularly forget to give me money, but she would use the internet, of course, until I remind her. But also that's totally fine, that was not a problem until and I also have pictures. One day I came from a flight and I found the kitchen full of bugs, full of cockroaches. The kitchen was just scary to go inside. I honestly couldn't go in the kitchen and I couldn't get a water. So it came to the point where I had to call the housing department and say that this is the story, this is what happened, the kitchen is full of bugs. I think that we need pest control straight away, which the housing department and so the other departments are very, very fast when they respond to situations like this. I had within the next 1 hour the pest control, and this is how these pictures are have been made, because I had to later on write a very long email in which I have explained literally from day one everything that happened, all my efforts, what I have been doing, how I was understood, if I may say, and just I was not receiving a feedback, or I was not receiving, I would say, respect. This was kind of respect. I'm not saying that she's supposed to do the same things that I was doing when I was living with a CS and CSD at the beginning, but yet I think that seniority in aviation is very important, and especially if you're living with a CSD who it's very nice and tells you you don't have to clean the flat, just please do not leave your dishes and just vacuum your food properly. I think that's the minimum thing that you can do to show respect for someone that does so much for you in terms of, you know, helping you. You're in a completely new environment, you're having difficulties, you know, I'm sitting with her for hours and writing those emails in order to save her from trouble, and I said I had enough, because I think that every person on earth has limits. I said now it's the time when I will just say everything how it was and let the decision being brought. A few days before that happened, I was sleeping, and I remember she woke up and she the phone rang in our living room, and she was called because she overslept and she had a no-show for a flight, and that was something very serious, and it happened a few days before, which led her to the very next day after I have sent the email to go straight away to the office. I think it was the reason also with the no-show for sure. And after that, she never wore the Qatar Airways uniform again. She was in the flat for I think 1 week or 10 days. It was the most unpleasant experience for me. The first 4 days that she was there, I was, I think, off, but I was mingling around. She would constantly play very loud music, not to let me sleep. I was kindly asking her to please lower the volume of the music, because I would want to sleep. I have a flight, and then that time when this happened, she didn't do it. I had to call the welfare department. Then they made a call with her. Then she lowered the music, and I really felt like, honestly, I'm 30 years old, and I have to, and still I have to go into those kind of conversations and, like, you know, those childish things. I think she wanted to revenge on me. Nevertheless, my heart is clean, because I know that I did all my effort. At the end of the day, I'm not her mother, I'm just her CSD that she flies every day with CSDs, and I'm there to assist her, coach her, and guide her as much as I can. But when I do not see a feedback, my job as a supervisor, let's say, would be only to report the issue to the higher management, and under no circumstances, neither me, neither you watching this video would accept to live in a flat with this big cockroaches. The cockroaches were very big, and for those who were flying for a Middle Eastern airline, or you were living in the Middle East, you guys know that in a hot place you have this so different insects. Now we're gonna answer, this was all about the story. By the way, this is how it ended up. In my entire 10 years of flying, I have never reported a single cabin crew on board the aircraft, though they made a lot of mistakes, of course. However, when I see that the learning objective is there, and that the promise from the heart that this will not happen is there, and that this is something that they will never repeat again, because they know the problem they can cause with it, I brought up the decision of not reporting to save that person not to lose the job. And in this case, that was absent. All of that I have said was just simply not there for quite some time. Now we go to the aspect of, should you be cleaning the accommodation that you will be leaving? And I know that many of you watching this video were coming from different parts of the world, and Some of you might enjoy vacuuming the house, some of you might just, think that's too much to do and you would not vacuum for 6 months, and that's totally fine. Whatever you think that your standards are, practice those standards. However, there are certain things I would like you to have in mind, which are aspects that I have mentioned in this video. You are not living alone. You are living with another person, and that other person is a human being. So if both of you are comfortable in living in a flat full of hair, full of dust, full of body hair, then that's completely fine. But then we come to the point of personal hygiene and wearing uniform of Emirates Airlines, of Qatar Airways, of Etihad Airways. When you will see the cabin crew walking through the airport of these airlines, you see one cohesion of people looking so beautiful. When you come near to them, you feel their immaculate makeup, perfume, smell. And if you allow yourself to live in a very dirty place, full of cockroaches, hair, dust, the possibility that you will look beautiful, handsome, clean and tidy like these people, it's not so high, because you will be living in a place with a lot of germs, with a lot of dust. You can develop allergies, your skin will not look healthy, and your overall health will not be on the highest level. So therefore, if you have to clean that flat that has been given to you to live there, it's for your own health. If you have to vacuum the food that you have, I don't know, the 200,000 spices that we eat. I eat a lot of different spices, but if I did not vacuum them, and if I have all those cockroaches, then most probably I will get some disease from it. And I also, with that, I'm putting into danger another innocent person who has understood how he or she should behave. So therefore, keeping in mind that you're living with another human being would have to give us a certain level of responsibility in terms of vacuuming your house on regular basis. Your house is not full of furniture like our house where we live, our home actually. You have a basic furniture, which is your bed, your table next to your bed, your table for cosmetics, your mirror, and your wardrobe. It takes 5 minutes to undust those things, and it takes literally 10 minutes for a 60-meter square flat to vacuum. And if you're really not fond of vacuuming, you may also buy this robot to just, go around, will vacuum the house by themselves, and that's it. There is a solution for everything. In this case, I would say cleanliness and keeping your flat clean will help you to maintain your personal 5-star look, because as I have mentioned, if you live in a dirty place, I don't see that you can be seen or you will be looking neat, clean and tidy. And in fact, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come to the last point. The matter of hygiene is very well explained in the grooming manual for Qatar Airways in this case, but I'm very sure it's there in Emirates and in Etihad Airways, in which they are explaining that the crew has to regularly wash their face, moisture their face, those use of deodorant, perfume, which should be light, which should not be strong, and stuff like that. This is your personal hygiene, but your personal hygiene pretty much is connected with the hygiene of the place where you live. Making yourself organized and learning how to be organized will literally help you to enhance and to make your entire life a bit better, because you will have your things in place and you will know where your things are. And later on, when you will be working with the passengers and you are on board the aircraft, and believe me, the aircraft is a tiny little space. Crew that don't know how to be organized are falling into trouble. Why do I mean are falling into trouble? You have a lot of things which you're supposed to know how to organize, put them, be fast, and work in accordance to a lot of standards as well. Therefore, start making your house an organized place for a better living. This is my sincere advice. You don't have to serve your house, but make your house to be as good as to serve you. This is how you're supposed to function, and this is how I believe will bring a good atmosphere, and then your understanding of cleaning your house will be different. You don't have to vacuum your house, as I have said on daily basis, but you may do it at your convenience and to ensure that you and your flatmate, whoever you're living with, you have a good communication. Last but not the least, you will be worrying about what the housing department will say because they will be checking your house. I just want to tell you that don't worry. When a housing officer comes to your flat, if you're cabin crew, and checks, they will just see whether, your pillows are in place. They would not check how much dust is there. If there is a dust, you are breathing the dust, so your health is in danger. They will just check, that you have not put your suitcase in the living room. They will not check your room, of course, but then all the things that the company has given to you or has put them in place there, they're just simply there, and you have not decided that you want to sell the sofa and earn another 500 euros because you get a chance to get some revenue. This is basically the core reason. Or somebody has stolen the TV from your living room. This is basically the core reason of why they would come and check the flat and see how is everything. Candles are not allowed. Somebody might ask me why candles are not allowed. For the simple reason, 132 or 135 nationalities, not everyone will remember to just put the candle off and leave the flight. This is something that can impose a danger. Therefore, as such, you don't need to put yourself into troubles, and just forget about those candles, especially in the Middle East. As I have said, this is something that we should be mindful about, and all those rules and regulations are there for the simple reason a lot of nationalities and everyone has their different ways of how they function and how they want things to be done. So one uniformed way has to be found. At the same time, don't be afraid. You're not hired to be a cleaner of your flat. You're hired to be a cabin crew, to be organized cabin crew, to ensure that when the aircraft has been given to you as a serviceable aircraft in terms of a work environment which has been cleaned for you, cleaners come on board, they clean it for you. You as a cabin crew during the flight are simply maintain that cleanliness. You're not cleaning the aircraft, but you are maintaining. How you're maintaining? When you drop something, you pick it up. When you spill something, you wipe it up. This is how you are maintaining that cleanliness on board the aircraft, and this is how you have been organized. The very same thing you're doing in your flat. The flat has been clean, given to you. When you drop something, you pick it up. When something spills, you clean it up. When you use the dishes, because in Qatar Airways, they're even providing dishes to the cabin crew. So when you use those dishes and you have eaten from those dishes, you simply wash them, because next time, most probably, you will be using them as well. So this is how you develop a sort of responsibility towards what you're using. And if you want, I can just give you a small example. You have bought yourself a mobile phone, right? So what do you do when the battery is off? You put your phone to be charged. So you ensure that your phone is charged on regularly basis. You're buying a cover. You're taking care about your phone because you have gotten this phone or you need this phone to be serviceable to you to use it. The very same thing you're supposed to do with the flat where you're living, your accommodation. Thank you very much for watching this quite long video and hearing about this story of my flatmate being terminated. And I'm going to be seeing you very soon with another YouTube video. Bye bye and have a nice day.